there has been no substantial breakthrough. And for 6 months, one of the most important logjams is that Vladimir Putin said that he would never sit down with Zelensky, the head of Ukraine, and the president has now got that to change. We're going to try to find some negotiated settlement that the Ukrainians and the Russians can live with, where they can live in relative peace, where the killing stops. It's not going to make anybody super happy.
George Beebe is the vice president at the Center for National Interest. He joins me now. George, thanks for getting up with us to talk about this morning. You know, we've been here before to where Trump wants to meet with Putin. We think it's going to happen, and then he has seemingly wants to do nothing with Zelensky, and then he shows up, but Putin doesn't. So it's kind of a lose-lose situation, I feel like, at least since it's going to be any different.
Yeah, I do think this is going to be different. I think in the past, what we've been focusing on is pressing the sides to agree to an unconditional ceasefire, to simply stop shooting at each other. On which the Russians are going to have to concede. I think the biggest one is that they're going to have to acknowledge
fundamental strategic compromise that the Russians will have to accept. I think on the Ukrainian side and on the West side, we're going to have to concede that Ukraine is not going to be a member of NATO, and that NATO
members are not going to put military forces on Ukrainian territory. That, I think, is a fundamental framework that President Trump and President Putin can agree to on Friday. That will set the stage for negotiations on a lot of very complicated, very detailed issues that have to be part of an ultimate peace settlement.
Yeah, I mean, the White House and President Trump, they've been trying to work with Putin and Zelensky in separate instances. And then I think Witkoff, it's been the fifth time now that he has met with Russia to try and get them on board. But, I keep going back to the instance 3 months ago or so when Putin said he would show up. Zelensky wanted to be there. But I mean, I feel like there's no give and take with these two. And then Russia wants to take a piece of Ukraine's land, and they say absolutely not. This has to work for the Ukrainian people. I mean, that's what I keep going back to. And, that's going to be hard for President Trump to weigh the pros and cons of this and trying to get these two people to meet. But you think it's going to happen?
Well, I do, ultimately. I think for the Russian side, what they really care about is the military threat that they see NATO posing
to Russian security. They can't solve that problem just by winning the war in Ukraine, just by seizing territory. They're still left with that NATO military capability. So they do need a deal here.
Something done, because this was a campaign promise.